So you're looking for some accurate colors, are you? More professional look? All right. In this video, we're going to go over custom white balance. It's Jay from Sony Lab. Now, this is going to be really easy. If you guys have never used custom white balance before on a Sony camera, it's extremely simple, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. To get the most accurate custom white balance, you are going to need some kind of gray card or a gray wall. What I recommend is something like this. Now, this is just a white balance and an exposure chart, and it's a really great tool that's worth investing in. They come in a variety of sizes. I have like a 24-inch size, which is nice, and it really helps nail down that custom white balance to the most accurate color possible. But with a chart like this, you can also use it to make sure your exposure is perfect when it comes to the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. So I use this chart for both things, and that's why I recommend investing in that as opposed to just a gray card. A gray card will also be able to get you custom white balance, but you won't be able to gauge your highlights and your shadows as well. And you'll see in a second exactly what I'm talking about when I show you in the lab. So let's just get right into it, guys. All right, so here we are looking at the back of the new Sony A7C, which I'm currently reviewing. Now, I just wanted to show you how to set the custom white balance, which is very easy to do. And if you're not aware of how to do it, I will show you right now using this camera. So the easiest way to do this is to hit the function button, the FN button right here. If you hit that button, it'll bring you into this quick menu here. So right here is where your white balance is. Now, normally this is set to auto white balance like this. So if I go into the function menu, by default, that's normally what it's going to look like. It's going to say AWB for auto white balance. Now, to set a custom white balance, which is what I highly recommend doing whenever you possibly can, if you're looking for the most accurate colors possible, you want to set a custom white balance. Now, you're going to need one of these charts, and I particularly like the chart that has the white, gray, and black, because you can also use this to make sure that your exposure is perfect. What you're going to want to do is, under auto white balance, you're just going to hit the center button on the control wheel here, and that'll bring you into that menu. And then what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down, and these are all your different white balance settings. And I'm using a studio light right now, and I actually have the light set to 3200 degrees on the back of the light. It has like a dial, and I have it dialed into 3200 degrees. So what I want to do is I want to actually set the white balance for that light. So if I go here, what you got to do is scroll to the right. Notice how there's a little arrow there? If you scroll to the right, that'll give you the ability to set the white balance. So once it's on set, all you have to do again is hit the center button on the rear control dial, and that'll bring up this box. Now, this box you could move around. So to move this box around, you just use the control dial up, down, left, right, and get it right where you want. Right there is good. You can actually raise it up a little bit, so it might be a little bit easier to focus when it has those contrast lines there. But basically, all you got to do is, if you look at the bottom here, it shows you, it says press the center button. That's what that circle stands for. So I'm just going to click that, and it just captured my shot, and it automatically is applying that to this custom white balance. So all you have to do then is hit the center button again to apply that. See how it says enter? So I'm just going to hit enter now, and there it is. So now my custom white balance is set for what the camera deemed was the correct custom white balance, which in this case turns out to 3100 degrees. Now watch this. I'm going to change the color temperature on my light because it's an RGB light, so I can actually change the color temperature. Alright, so now I changed the color temperature of the light to approximately 5200 degrees, which is a much cooler color, as you can see here. Now the gray and the whites and stuff are looking blue-ish. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to reset my custom white balance. Now, there's multiple custom white balances. So I can set custom white balance 2 for this one. So what's great about this is if you're in an environment where you have two different color light sources and you're going in between them, like at a party, for example, or if you're going from outside to inside, you can have multiple customs here, and you just have to switch the camera to that custom white balance when you're in that given lighting scenario. And that'll give you super accurate color, way more accurate than auto white balance will. Auto white balance definitely fluctuates around too much, And if you're shooting one person and then another person in the same room, you might get drastically different skin tones just because of the variance of lighting, shadows, things like that. So this is why you really want to get a custom white balance set for the most accurate results and the most professional look. So let me just go over here to the right again, and I'm going to reset my custom white balance. There it is. And I'm just going to hit the capture. And now it's saying 4,500 degrees. So that's an accurate custom white balance for this particular lighting scene. And there you have it. Now watch what happens when I take a photo. Let me take a photo here. I'm just going to click enter. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo. And I'm going to hit the playback button here to bring you in. Now remember how I told you how you can use this awesome chart to check exposure as well? See the histogram there, how you have the spikes? Those spikes represent the white, gray, and black and whatever else is in the scene. So you really want to zoom in on the chart as much as possible to really just try to get, you know, white, gray, and black if possible, so the histogram is as simplistic as possible, but you can still see clearly the spikes. Now the black, obviously there's two black spikes because the black on the chart is a little bit more gray than the actual black that's surrounding the test chart. But again, this is how you can check your exposure. So what I could now do is I could actually dial back. If for example, it was too bright, like if there was a white shirt, you can actually use your exposure compensation, which is the wheel on the top of the camera. And you could then take another picture and then hit playback. And now you can see how the histogram shifted to the left because I'm exposing now more for the highlights. So I pushed the exposure to the left just to make sure that nothing clips in those highlight areas. So that's how you can also use this chart to not only set custom white balance, but ensure that you have your exposure exactly where you want it. And you're definitely better off exposing for the highlights with digital cameras. So if you have something really bright white, you want to actually underexpose your image a little bit, and then you can bring out the shadows in post to make up for that. So shooting raw, for example, will help you in that regard. It'll give you more latitude when editing. So that is pretty much it for this quick tutorial on custom white balance. I really hope you guys got what you were looking for. And of course, below the video, there will be links to the white balance chart that I use and also a couple other charts, just, you know, that vary in budget and things like that. So be sure to go into the description area of the video below for those links. And, you know, if you feel like you got something out of this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you didn't already, and don't forget that notification bell if you want to be notified when I come out with new videos. All right, let me know if you want any other tutorials below in the comments section, and if you have any questions, fire away below. All right, guys, you take care, have a great day, and be safe out there.